Hey guys, Bobbie and Joy. We want to welcome you again to our show.
Hi.
Hope you guys had a good week. Before we get started, the same thing we're going to do that we did with Michael is please tell us where you are watching us from. We want to know where you're watching us from because Michael, just lean in here and tell them where you had someone watching you from.
We had someone watching from Portugal on our last live.
Is that not amazing? This is so exciting for us. So please, 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 I'll keep saying it. Please post where you're watching us from. If you have any questions, post in our comments. Joy and I'll do our very best to answer them. Just a couple things I want to mention. Please like and follow us on our Facebook page. I am working really, really hard to get us to 70,000 followers by the end of the year, and I can't do it unless you guys help me. So please, please, if you've been invited, please click it, follow us, like us, help me get to 70,000 by the end of the year. I would appreciate it so much.
Be amazing.
Yes. I think I'm going to turn it over to Joy right now, and I'll say a couple more of my things towards the end because I want to make sure we can get this one in. This is an important one, I feel.
We're going to do a topic that really requires a lot more in-depth because there's so many facets to aggressive bunnies. So we're going to do that as a different segment so that we can actually spend more time on it and actually provide another video for you to see as well.
Yeah, what we were thinking, which I want to make sure you guys are okay with it, because we don't want you to get overwhelmed and bored. So we were thinking that the really important ones that are going to take longer than like 15-20 minutes to talk about, that Joy will pre-record, and then after our shows, we'll post that video, and that way you guys can watch it when you want to, 15 minutes of it, and come back to it. Let me know if you guys think that's okay. If you're cool with that, then I think that's what we're gonna start doing with her.
Longer topics.
Yeah, the ones that aren't gonna, keep your interest for our little 30-minute show.
Well, even if they did, it's not going to fit into the 30 minutes.
It's not gonna
That's
fit
just
in.
simply.
I just don't wanna overwhelm them.
So tonight, one of the things that I thought would be a good one to put in is a home bunny health check, okay? We really need to be super, super aware of our bunnies because as prey animals, they hide their symptoms of illness until it's almost too late. So, getting ahead of that, curve can really help you sometimes and help your bunny. So now I want to make really, really clear, this is not a replacement for a veterinary exam, okay?
This is what, I seen this thing, which I wish I could have printed it if I would have thought about it. As Joy talks, you'll see one side is your opinion and one side is what the vet would say. And they say, if you even have to second guess it, that means take it to the vet. It's this cutest little diagram, darn it.
Okay, well, maybe we can find that and post it. But at any rate, this is something I said that you can simply do at home to really try to, keep on top of things. So I've got my handy dandy little, bunny that I use for a lot of the educational stuff. And so we may have to actually get that down, Bobbie, because I need to show the bunny. Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's see if we can get down closer on the table.
I promise I will not mess it up like we did last week.
That's
I
fine.
know that was terrible last week, but we're doing better.
Okay. Or you can rest it on there and,
I don't know, it won't see your face.
Okay. Well, I'm not worried about my face. I'm worried about making sure that they can see the bunny.
Okay.
That's really going to be the big key. And so, putting that bunny on a table so they can't get away, even a small table, card table, what have you, because a lot of them just don't really appreciate this. But it's a really good time for, actually bonding with your bunny as well. So we want to have that bunny, on a surface where they have traction, okay, because they do not like sliding around, and that's bad for their joints. It scares them as well. So we want to make sure that we can also see them from the back, from the front, and from the top. So what we're going to do is, we want to make sure, first of all, that bunny has an asymmetrical appearance, okay? So you're taking a look at the front of that bunny. Look and see, do you see any abnormal lumps, bumps, what have you, run over your body over those things. It's like, you can do this as a good time when you're brushing them as well, to get your hands on them. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, last week there wasn't a lump here, okay? And it's like, ooh, last week, didn't have this head kind of tilted like that way. So all these things that you can simply take a look at. So you want to look at from the very same things, and look at all these. So look at from the front head on, okay? He said, do you see any head tilt? Are the eyes bulging? Bulging eyes can be all kinds of, major, heart or lung issues, type of thing. So you're looking to make sure that it looks that, and is there any lumps, bumps, any wet spots, any sticky residue, around the nose, get your, fingers under there, type of thing. Lumps on the jaw. Is you sensitive about anything, okay? So one of the things that's really good is just put your finger down their ear, okay? Now, they may not really, be thrilled about it, but usually they're just agitated or irritated. But if they're like, don't touch my ears, okay. Now you may be looking at something like ear mites or an ear infection, and now because you can't see down there as well as the veterinarian can with that otoscope. So, but obviously if that is really bothering the bunny, then, you've got an issue there. So you want to take a look at that. Take a look at, look for any kind of discharge, because when that bunny, has that discharge, there they are, cleaning their face, okay, and now they've got the discharge sticky residue on the inside of that paw. So the nose may end up looking clean because they clean themselves, but they don't bother cleaning this for whatever reason. I don't know why, but they don't clean this part. So this is a really good way of telling. And of course, again, they should not have any kind of nasal discharge. One of the things I talk about is just like, think of it this way. Rabbits are nasal obligate breathers, so they cannot breathe through their mouth. So you've already got this going on. Now, if they've got a sinus infection, and they got this, they can't breathe through their nose, okay, get them to the vet. Oh my gosh, this is not only painful, but it could turn from a situation that you can get cleared up to a chronic situation or possibly even a deadly situation. So, that's, again, all things that you're doing to make sure your bunny seems to be okay in between those veterinary checkups. And we are really encouraging them to go in every 6 months, okay? Those molars grow so quickly, issues can come up so quickly that it's really, seriously, every 6 months for that exam, And usually exams are not really expensive for bunnies because they don't get, the same, inoculations and things like that the dogs do. I mean, you take your dog in, you're talking, rabies tag, bordetella, parvo, distemper, heartworm test, heartworm medication, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you get that exam. Although we do recommend at least every other year blood work to make sure the internal workings of your bunny seems to be okay too. So anyway, I'm trying to make sure I've got, as I keep along going on, things like that. So look at the eyes, from the side, okay? Do we have any type of cloudiness? And so we could be developing a cataract. Is there white spots or something in there? It's like, okay, now we could be talking maybe an infection. Make sure you're not getting any just glare from something else and, reflection. But we really want to make sure that, if there is something going on, you catch that before it becomes a situation where the eye has to be removed because it's so badly, infected. We want to make sure that, that the fur around that eye is nice and, dry. So if you're seeing, discharge, in fact, let's see here. Let me get, there we go. All right, okay. Here we go. Let's see if I can get this way up close. So this is just a couple of examples, but the whole thing is, if you've got, discharge there from the eye or just watery eyes, that can be caused by about 10 different things, okay? I once knew a lady, her bunny was getting eye drops for the watery eyes, and it turned out the cause was a molar spur. Well, certainly those eye drops were not going to help, that molar spur. And so there's just way too many different things. You need a veterinarian who really is familiar with bunnies, is really trained on rabbit medicine, so that they know all of the different things to look for. This veterinarian was, could have been a wonderful dog and cat veterinarian, but, not knowledgeable about bunnies. So he sees, this, and is looking for an eye infection, and that really wasn't the case. So all of these different things. I mean, there could be, the tear ducts could be blocked. Could be an ear infection. Like I said, molar spur. Could be a sinus infection. All of these different things actually can cause weepy eyes, not just an eye infection. Okay, so an eye situation there. So you want to make that. And then, of course, anytime they've got those tears there, that's salty. And so now the fur is starting to, fall away, and it's burning that skin. So keep on top of that. You just want to make sure it's not just, wait until the vet looks or something. Keep an eye on your bunny, okay? Let's see. Then look at the eyes again. Are there any redness around the rims, So all of those little things that you're looking for is like, and again, are there any bulging? Do the eyes look, again, symmetrical? You don't have one sticking out further than the other, because that could be an infection behind the eye. If they're both bulging, you could be looking at, congestive heart failure or a lung issue. So we just want to make sure you're looking at those particular things. Let's see. And I mentioned about, sticking in the finger down the ear. But another thing that you can actually do is smell the ear.
Yes, you can smell it. You can smell infection.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, you can't see anything, but, and then other things that can be in that ear. Okay, so, here is a case of ear mites. Okay, now you can actually see this here, but sometimes when they start, they're so far down in that ear canal that you can't see them.
And they're so painful.
Oh my gosh, that's an understatement. I mean, first of all, think of microscopic insects chewing on you, okay, one thing, and then there's, the little noise going on in your ears, okay, okay, no, okay. So,
Bottom line is, if you see something in the ear that don't belong there, or you smell something, get to the vet.
Yep, okay. Now, some of these things are actually probably done a little bit better if you can get the bunny on their backs, and this really, really can help, because, when you're cradling that bunny, and again, always support that bunny. Just think of it as a newborn infant. You're cradling that bunny and keeping the head elevated. What happens if you get the head too low?
It goes into like a yucky trance, and that's bad.
It's bad. Yeah.
It's bad.
I mean, one of the things, that trances, this is a nature thing, and I won't go into all of the details there, but you want to make sure your bunny's head is slightly elevated so they do not, go into that trance.
And Joy does have a thing about trancing too, that if you're interested, we can also make a video on that and post.
Yeah, yeah.
Joy's very knowledgeable.
So, it's like, well, all of us are at this point, that we've just been doing a long time. But this does give you the chance to be able to really get a good look at the nose, and you can, kind of get a look at just the front teeth. So, there's my other one here. Sorry, guys, I got them. Should have had them in.
She's got a baby in her hand.
In there, I do.
From one hand.
It's just all of that sort of thing. There we go.
I can hold that up.
Okay, good. All right. So, you're wanting to make sure that the teeth look normal. Okay. So with your teeth, put down for just a second. Think about when you close your mouth, your front teeth fit right over the bottom teeth. So you just this is not overgrown teeth. They have to adjust their jaw in order to be able to bite, just like you do. But if there's a thing called malocclusion where those teeth do not meet, so that's where you can see, this is a really, really bad case of malocclusion. And, we normally, when we have an issue like that, we will have those incisors removed.
So I had a bunny, one of my very first bunnies I got, his teeth were same thing growing, and he had them cut every 7 days for 2 years until Joy finally said, get them removed. It was the best thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, they can do just fine without those front teeth. Now, it does mean that, like their baby carrot, you're going to have to chop it up. Their lettuce, you're going to have to rip it into pieces. But anything that they can get in their mouth, pieces of food, parsley, hay.
You would be surprised how well they can eat. I mean, mine really didn't need much done for him. The only thing I would do is take an apple tree branch and I'd slice off the bark for him.
That's great.
So he could have that. But, you spoil your bunnies.
You do. So you make adjustments, for them. Just like, with my, elderly arthritic bunnies, I always take about deep litter boxes that, they can jump in there, and when they hike that tail, butt stays in the litter box.
Yes.
But my arthritic, oh, no, now I've got that cut down really low, so it makes it really easy for in it. But we do the same thing with our dogs or cats. We provide ramps,
Yeah.
all the things that we do. But,
For
we're
your
talking
family
about
pets.
healthy.
Yep,
Oh, yeah, the family.
that's
Okay.
right. Do what you gotta do.
You simply do. Okay, so let me get this back out here again. So like I said, you can check, their chest and make sure, even with their grooming, making sure they're not matted or anything like this, down here, that you don't have any issues, particularly, going on. So we want to make sure, and it also gets your bunny used to, being handled, okay? This way you can also check those paws, when they're down on the ground, you can check those paws too. But you want to be able to check for hock sores and things like that. But even the front feet can end up getting sore. So you're looking to make sure that all those paw pads look good, back feet and front feet, type of thing. That there's no strings or anything cut around, any of them. That their nails, are in the appropriate, shape type of thing like that. And we end up doing all of for our members, we offer free nail trims just so, because a lot of people are very uncomfortable trying to deal with that. So that's probably going to be one of the ones that we try to do one of these days is actually how to do nail trims and scent gland cleanings, okay? All right, so let's see. Then, okay, so while he's cradled on his back, like I said, you're checking for all of those, checking that the legs, seem to be, moving okay, that, they don't have anything like that. Because we have seen bunnies that had strings wrapped around the toes, cut off the circulation and things like that. So you want to make, that. You're looking that if there's any fur loss or anywhere, down here. You're trying to make sure that the bottom down here, okay, is all clean, okay? Because if it's not, again, you may have another issue going on. Is the bunny overweight and now it can't clean itself well? Does it have goopy secals that are sticking to the butt? Okay, and that's going to have to be washed off and cleaned off because otherwise it could possibly block up the bunny. And
It's awful mess.
And stinky.
Ooh. Julie, she said I thought it was dangerous to put the bunnies on their back.
Okay, remember I am cradling this bunny. I am
Like a
supporting his
baby.
spine. I have got his head up. So dangerous is when you've got them down and they're going into that trance. And like I said, that's a whole different story.
So there's
okay?
a difference.
Yes. This bunny is awake and aware. Okay.
And you're cradling like a baby.
Yes. Always
So
that
the
support.
head is up, not down. That makes the difference, and that's the safe way.
Yeah. So a lot of bunnies actually enjoy being held like this. Not a whole lot, but some of them do.
Mine does.
Yeah.
Mine likes to be held like a baby, and he likes his little paw. When you're holding him, he likes you to rub his little paws and
Yeah,
little
and your
forehead.
and you're getting that, But again, they're awake, they're conscious, Again, getting them way down, that's not a good thing. So, but like I said, this way you're checking, like I said, that genital area for infection. You're looking for urine scald. So if it's starting to get bald in there and that skin turning a raw red color, that's a really bad issue because now you could have something else going on. It could be urinary tract infection, or it could be something that's not positioned correctly. It could be that they getting incontinent. There's a lot of different things that you want to be looking for there.
Yes, and my bunny now has three legs, and he can't go on litter, so he has a potty pad. I have to watch him closely because he tilts to one side.
Mm-hmm.
So when he pees, he gets pee right on the side by his tail. So every day he gets a baby white bath, so there's no pee buildup or nothing on his skin and no fur loss. Sometimes I do it twice a day. It just depends on how he wants to tilt that day, I guess.
All right, And with your long-furred bunnies, we've had bunnies come in here that their legs were actually matted. The fur had them matted together. They couldn't hardly move. Even the front legs, it was like they could barely move because everything was all matted together. So you want to make sure, everything looks, good under here, that you don't have, any issues. Run through that fur, whether it's the top or the back, Rabbits rarely have fleas unless they're where they're just in an overwhelming, situation,
Yes.
and they can't keep them off. But usually, they're keeping that. But you can, again, watch for the skin. If you've got crustiness on the skin, especially back here or anything. There's all different kinds of things that, can cause that. But you want to go through that bunny's fur, a little bit, and just make sure you're not seeing any type of scabs, wounds, like I said, that crusty situation. There's autoimmune issues with their skin, so you can find something like that. And then let's see, like I said, the hawks, watch them while they're, in motion, okay? You should be really aware of what your bunny's normal behavior is like when they're hopping around, how they hop, how much they eat, how much they drink. It's like, ooh, he didn't drink very much yesterday, and he usually drinks a half a bowl of water. All of these things that, you need to be aware of, and so that you're completely aware of. It's like, oh, normally this time around he's zooming.
Yep.
And what's he doing?
Yeah, I mean, I know my pets so well, I can just look at them. They can look at me and I'm like, ooh, there's something wrong with you. So you just kind of got to build that relationship with them so you know. And like Joy's doing, every day mine gets like this full body massage, and I'm like checking them and just making sure, like Joy says, I do it every day.
And they think, you're grooming them.
Oh,
Okay?
he's loving
so,
it.
I mean, they love this. I mean, even right up to just, right up their ears, between the ears and the eyes,
and mine, because he has
cheek rubs.
He's missing a back leg. He can't clean
Oh,
one
yeah.
ear. So I'm always digging in his ear, but I'm massaging him and looking in his ear and just kind of taking that out for him.
I have one of those little three-legged bunnies at home too, and the same thing. As soon as I see where the leg isn't, but you see the muscle trying
Which
to
is really
stretch the ear.
cute, by the way.
Oh yeah, but the ear is bothering them, and
yeah,
they can't
I'm like,
stretch
oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone in my family, as soon as they see him doing that, they're like, oh, let me help you.
Right.
Ooh.
And then, as they are getting older, you need to be watching that behavior, that those behavior patterns are
Yes.
changing. Is it because they're suffering from arthritis? There's some really good things out there that can be used, for arthritis or for pain medication, just to make them comfortable. And just same thing. If you're suffering from anything, what do you want? You want something to help to alleviate those symptoms. And that's what we want to do for our bunnies, just like we
Right.
would do for our dog or cat.
And a lot of times when you see them maybe not using their litter box, it's because they're hurting and they're saving their energy for what they need to be doing, and using the litter box is not on top of their list.
Right. I've had people, echinoculi, unfortunately, is one of those things that can affect because of weakness in the back legs.
Mm-hmm.
It can cause head tilt. It can cause, liver, all kinds of things that go on with this. But one of the things, like I said, is, a weakness in the back legs. And I've had people go, oh, well, my bunny's not using the litter box, but he runs around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that running around is far more important to that bunny
Yep.
than getting in and out of the litter box, But when it comes to like the arthritis, I had somebody say, well, my bunny used to actually jump out of his pen, and now he's not even jumping on and off the shelf, and then it was not getting in and out of the litter box. We put that bunny on some really good, arthritis supplement, and he started doing all those things again.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't want to go into it, but there's several different things you can do. We have lots of members that do different things to help their elderly bunnies.
Right. So I said, the biggest thing, I want to show just, let's see. This was one that I wanted to show here. So this is you've got the dry nose. They should have a dry nose, not a wet nose like a dog or a cat. So again, any type of discharge, etc., that's an instant, get them into the veterinarian's office, okay? The scent glands, we mentioned, of course, you should be always keeping up with your nails. We always tell people every 3 months.
That's important.
Yep. But at the same time, here's one of the things I talk about in orientation. I'm going to get really gross here. I want you to imagine that you never trim your toenails. And they're getting long and disgusting, and they're twisting, and you're trying to walk on your feet. Don't do that to your bunny, okay? They need to have those nails trimmed every 3 months at least, okay? But at the same time, they need to have those scent glands cleaned, okay? So, when if they've been, spayed or neutered, okay, so here we go, in here, those pockets that are on either side, the bunny will not clean those out. and they stink.
Oh
okay?
my gosh, do they stink.
Right, yeah, but because they're no longer spraying, that oil starts to coagulate in there. It can get hard, dry, it can almost get like a bean-like substance, but it can also get infected. So, we clean those out, and then we can do a, separate thing on that, but this is an important thing, to also do. Keep an eye on their potty box, okay? So, if you start seeing poops strung together by fur, okay, you need to be doing a whole lot more brushing, okay? Because this is fur stringing these poops. We call it like pearls, being strung together. But that thing could twist around in the colon and cause a blockage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got that. I know we showed the fur mites. I just want to make sure,
Yep.
or the ear mites. But fur mites, that's going to look like dandruff on your bunny's skin, on the fur. So a lot of times that can be actually indicative of something else going on. Their immune system is not keeping those fur mites in check, and so there may be,
Yeah,
weakness
my
going
older
on.
bunny had that fur mites from being, I can't even remember what it is now. I've had too many bunnies.
Yeah. So, do we have any questions or anything?
We do. Someone wants to know what kind of baby wipes you should use for your bunnies. But let me put this back up here so we're not looking down at everybody here. Oh, maybe I can do this. There we
There
go.
we go.
Is that low enough?
There we go. I
We'll
think
work it
that'll
out.
work. Yeah, just scoot over this way a little bit. Okay.
There we go.
All right.
So my baby wipes I get are just I buy the box from Sam's. They're unscented. I always say if they're, they're safe for my baby granddaughter's bum, they're gonna be fine for my bum.
Yeah, no, that's not true of shampoo.
No, I'm talking baby wipes.
Right. And what we normally use to clean out the scent glands is either just a baby oil on a Q-tip or mineral oil.
Karen said her bunny's here tonight right now with her husband and daughter getting the full spa treatment.
Yay. Okay.
So we don't have any more questions, but if you're on there, please drop us a line telling us where you're watching us from. If you have any questions, please answer them. I just have a couple things I want to say. I want to give a shout out to two of our new top fans. One is Lori Jo and Jennifer, is that Gobber?
Goober.
Goober, yes.
Goober, yeah.
They're two new top fans to our Facebook page, so I want to thank both of you for watching us and becoming some of our top fans. Let's see. The other one I want to talk about, why don't you tell them a quick how awesome our event was? I know Michael said it on his segment, but we're really proud of how this event turned out Saturday, and I think we should brag about it.
So now our shelter building is shotgun style, okay? So that helped in that we were able to set up people coming in the far end, okay? And they went through the building and out the other end, all the way to the complete other far end. So that way we didn't have people mixing. We had a strict, thing where we're trying to keep everybody socially distanced and monitored at the same time. And but somebody had said, well, we really need to try to get out a little bit of information. And if you can see a bunny or pet a bunny instead of going to get a bunny and then dumping them loose the next day. And guess what? We picked up a white bunny the very next day. I mean, yesterday on Monday morning, we were out there picking up a white bunny, loose white bunny.
After Joy tells you about our event, I will tell you about a very sad rescue that picked up a bunny on Easter.
Okay, yes.
But
So,
this just tells you.
Yeah. But we have an education room large enough that we were able to set up a photo area, one on either side of the room. And that way, again, keeping everybody completely, socially distanced. So they actually paid for a time slot and gave them about an hour's worth of experience, so to speak. And so they came in and they select which bunny, which backdrop they wanted to use. And as Michael said, we had Big Sedgwick, and he is he's a couch potato. So he's a big bunny, and we could sit him in between kids, drape his ears, because he's got the big, long ears over the kids' laps.
And he loves it.
He'd just sit there, let them pet him, and whereas the other little bunny, is hyper bouncing off him. But she would sit in a little basket, so she was sitting, we could sit the basket in, the child's lap. And so they weren't allowed to pick up bunnies. That was a no-no. But they could pet, and they could, have the basket in their lap, or such, with, like I said, sitting next to them, or between them, if there's more than one child. And then from here, they would get, as Michael said, go out to our exercise area. So we've got exercise pens for, these are big pens. These are like, 60 by 60, so that the bunnies, we can get them, rotate them out of their cages and so they can have exercise. And so we use that area, again, in our area, so it's completely separated, so far apart. But on one side, there's a variety of bunnies to pet, and on the other side, a variety of bunnies to pet. And that's where we were seeing, where they could get a lot of interaction. They could go into the pen, and again, we had appropriate bunnies that were not upset by the kids coming in and petting them. And we also had substitutes so that they didn't have to get worn out or anything. But the kids could come in, and Michael's little bunny, Charlie. Oh my gosh, he ran up to every little child that came into that pen. He's like,
know.
Here I am, pet me, pet me.
He's just the cutest bunny.
He is. So it's just, showing, how social they can be. And then after they would, get their pet, and we said, about 15 minutes in that area, then we had 2 separate rooms set up so that each family, again, we're doing 2 at a time, could be making a bunny toy. So the children got to put together a bunny toy and, make it, and, use the items that they wanted to put together. And we had them all cut and everything, so they could just, thread them together and a clip. And then they got to go down pre-designated aisles again. So everybody was separated, specific bunnies. So we were trying to make sure that, everything was going to be okay, with the bunny, not being upset about the child opening the, door, hanging the cage or the toy on their door. And I've even got a video, we'll have to post that, one of the bunnies, as soon as the child did it, the bunny started playing with the toy. So we'll try to get that on there. From there, then they were able to go up through the front area, and we had a little bag of candy for each one of them, and a little gift, bunny gift, So they were able to, to go out, and again, it flowed.
And again,
really well.
We did this so we were trying to promote not to go out and purchase a bunny, but you can come to our shelter and still have time with a bunny.
And the other thing besides the candy was a sheet that said, things to think about before getting a bunny. So if any of those parents were thinking about it, they also had a takeaway to go with them, contact information, etc. So it was, it was both an educational, experience and just simply a fun experience. One of the things I noticed that a lot of the parents didn't tell their children where they were going before they got here.
Surprise.
There was a surprise, and then the kids are jumping up and down, I get to see a bunny, and yeah, it was
Just to tell you how amazing our shelter is, I have 8 grandchildren. My grandkids see bunnies all the time, but they always bug me to come here because
a lot of bunnies here.
Yeah, it's pretty fun here.
What was interesting is that we had adults who said, I want to pet bunnies, can we come? Sure, we don't care who has the time slot,
And
come in, see our shelter.
We have a lot of people that volunteer here that don't have bunnies, that can't have bunnies, but come here to be with bunnies. So if you're one of those people, come to our bunny shelter. We could find something for you to do here.
Oh, there's always things to do here. That's one of the things about having a shelter, always something.
Let me see, I think that's it, unless anyone has any other questions. Oh, I have one that says, will you be doing a segment on your bunnies needing a friend or signs that a bunny needs to be paired up with a friend?
Yes.
And Joy will do that, but 99% of the time they need a friend.
Again, during orientations, one of the things I stress is that the best people for having a single bunny is someone who doesn't need to work for whatever reason, so they can be home all the time with their bunny, be that bunny's friend. Somebody who works from home and normally works from home, not COVID. I want anybody thinking about COVID because we got a lot of people home right now working from home, but this is somebody who would normally work from home, you know, so I spend a lot of time in my office with, you know, at home. You know, my Bunny's, he's based out of the office, so he's right there, you know, with me. And then they homeschool, so they're home all the time anyway with the children. You know, are they retired? And again, they can spend a lot of time with their bunnies. But these animals are group animals. They live in vast underground tunnels called warrens. They are, you know, a group animal. They live in colonies. So they do not like being alone. So think about yourself. If you have to be, you know, alone, and, you know, so if everybody's gone to work and they're going to school, and, you know, and then you sleep at night. Most of us sleep at night, okay? How many hours is that bunny alone? And this is not normal for them. And think about, you know, you might know what that siren is going down the street, but that bunny doesn't. It's like, man, what is that? Okay. And every time they're upset, their immune system is going down.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, you know, so we find that, you know, bunnies are happier and healthier, you know, when they're in groups, or, you know, a pair. You can sometimes be, oh, but then they don't pay much attention to me. Work with both bunnies. You want them both bonded to you, okay? Get down on the floor with both of those bunnies, you know. So they really, you know, they like having that, and you can become a trio.
Yep. Yeah, I always recommend a bonded pair, or if you do have a single, to see if he wants a friend. And we do bunny dating here. So it is the most awesome thing to watch, because you bring your bunny to our special dating room, you put your bunny on our couch, and our volunteers start bringing bunnies in to let your bunny choose its friend. And it's awesome to watch, because some, like 2 seconds, they'll be like, forget it. But then they think of, well, I might like that one. I might sniff it for a second, and then nope, change my mind. And then it can be love at first sight. So
We've seen everything. And one of the things I tell people, dogs, you know, can just kind of, you know, a lot of times we'll just accept another dog. Oh, look, another dog, you know, let's go play, you know. That's why they can go to a dog park, etc. You know. But with bunnies, they are extremely opinionated and very territorial. And I say, think about it this way. Would you want your mother coming home and going, guess what? I found a partner for you. It's like, love you, Mom, but I'll take care of that myself.
That doesn't
bunnies
end well.
the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they really need to pick out their own friend, because if you put two strange bunnies together, I mean, they can try to kill each other. And we've seen
that happen.
Right. And that's actually is what happened, you know, this weekend. We had one, you know, come in that had been with a bunch of other bunnies, and it came in with its mouth ripped wide open. We had to rush it in for emergency surgery over the weekend.
So my last thing is, I was on another one of our bunny rescue Facebook pages, and they had posted that a rescue got a call as they were closing on Christmas evening about an abandoned bunny. And when they went there, the bunny was paralyzed, soaked in urine, just with its front paws up, just looking around because it couldn't hop or move, waiting for someone to come and save it. How awful is that to be dumped in that situation on Easter? I can't even imagine what kind of people would do that to a living, breathing anything. And it makes me sick. It makes me mad. I could go on. I'm almost in tears just thinking about it again.
Take the bunny to a shelter. I mean, you know, there's places where you can, you know,
My
take
gosh.
them.
And a lot of veterinarian clinics, they see something like that and you can't afford to put your pet down. A lot of times they will do that for free instead of letting your pet suffer. And, you know, I'm going to ask all of you for help. If we all stand up together and watch our neighbors, our friends, our families, and we start being the voice for these animals, we can stop things like this from happening. And it's going to take all of us working together, because this was the most horrific thing that I think I have ever seen, honestly.
Oh, actually, we had one come into us that had been found taped shut inside a cardboard box.
Oh, I do remember
with
this.
a broken leg, and it was emaciated
I do remember this.
and just abandoned inside that taped
Okay.
up cardboard box in a park.
I take this back. I think I'm just too emotional because if I start
Oh,
thinking about it,
all the
I can
ones we
think of
had,
a lot
yes,
of bad ones.
right.
This one, I don't know, just
How could you do that?
paralyzed, soaked in urine, laying there and can't hop and try to get away or get help. It just makes me sick.
This one couldn't even ask for help, was inside the box.
I know.
So, yeah, and you're tearing up.
I
Yes,
know.
Because,
It's just making
yes.
me really upset
Yeah.
because when I read that, it just breaks my heart. And I rescue bunnies all the time. And I've been doing it for 20 years. And I've seen horrible, horrible, horrible things. But I don't know. It's just when they can't get away themselves.
when you turn them loose, it's like,
Yeah, I mean, at least turn them loose, they got a shot.
yeah, but not when they can't move.
Correct.
So,
I mean, this one is just laying there looking up at the lady that came to rescue it, help me. And unfortunately, it was in such bad condition, it had to be euthanized.
Right.
But at least it was a humane way, and it got put out of its suffering. A lot of bunnies don't get that opportunity. They suffer a horrible death out there.
but we see the same thing, sometimes inside a home. That's what I said, be aware, because that animal can, die, and, people sometimes, they died, of old age, or they died a natural death, and then you say, well, how old were they? Oh, they were 5, so that's not old age,
I'm nice about it, but if I see any animal that's not being taken care of, I tend to open my mouth and just start a conversation, and I tell them, I don't care if you're my friend, if you're my family, if I see you not taking care of your animal, I'm telling you. I mean, I just can't take it.
Right.
I can't. My heart's too big. They don't have a voice. They count on us for everything. So
If you don't want them, to take them to a shelter, most of the humane societies will, at least, accept them, even if they have to find somebody else to take them. It's just a matter of do not turn them loose. These are domestic animals.
yeah, so that just broke my heart, and I just wanted to share that with you. And like I said, we would love to be put out of our job.
Oh, yeah.
I would love one day not to have a shelter, and the world be a perfect place and no one dump their animals, but unfortunately that's never going to happen. But at least we can work together, and let's try to help these bunnies and all these animals that are suffering from the hands of people. It just makes me sick. So with that being said, I don't want to cry anymore on here. So Joy and I will say goodbye, and we will see you guys next Tuesday.
Right. And if you have any other questions or anything, don't forget, you can always leave them on the, the Facebook page.
Yes.
And we'll get back to you.
And you can message us on Facebook Messenger, and we always return all of our messages. So message us and let us know. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.